What's good, YouTube? It's your boy OG Nonboy back with another video, and in today's video I'm going to be going over a triple dark team that my friend Got7Leo sent over to me. So thank you to Got7Leo for these battles. And this team consists of Sableye in the lead with double dark poisons in the back with the Drapion and the Skuntank. So let's see how well this performs in the Halloween Cup here. So first match we have the Sableye into Drapion, and this is not too comfortable of a matchup for the Sableye, since you have to land the returns in order to be able to win this matchup. And he makes a really good swap into his Shadow Drapion, so he's able to tank that crunch for like resisted damage instead of it doing neutral on his Sableye. And since it is an ABB team, he does want to get out of there at some point to see if he can lure something out in the back. So he's going to go ahead and let this Bone Club go, and he's going to get a nice little farm down with his Sableye, but most likely the Sableye is going to remain aligned to the Drapion, since it is a pretty good matchup for the Drapion if they're able to shield up the returns correctly. So Got7Leo going to bait here with the foul play, and he is able to grab a shield, which is pretty good for him, and he makes another catch onto his Skuntank here. So at this point he's landed 2 catches on his opponent. I'd imagine the opponent might be a little bit tilted at this point, and the opponent is staying in, so I'm curious to see what the opponent has in the back that is weak to the Skuntank here. But I'm gonna get off this flamethrower, either gonna take out the Drapion or grab a shield, and able to take out the Drapion, and the opponent is going to farm down with their Wormadam, but not before Got7Leo is able to get another crunch off. And I'm guessing the opponent was probably fearing the flamethrower, so they decided to shield that. But now at this point he's in a very dominant position with 2 shields up, and these foul plays should be able to take out the Wormadam here before they're able to do anything to him. So those catches there really making a big difference in that match, and making that bait against the Drapion also helped him secure a shield. So next match here we have the Tyranitar, and this Tyranitar is kind of a core breaker to the team, since these smackdowns are really chunking the Sableye here, and the back 2 Pokemon for the most part are only able to throw like resisted charge moves minus the flamethrower. But these foul plays are still doing quite a lot of damage, since the Tyranitar is glassy. So gonna get a shield here from the opponent, and he's gonna aggressively swap into his Skuntank here, and it's gonna be met with the what is this here, the Toxapex, and this is a fairly neutral matchup. He did have an energy lead here, so let's see if he's able to flip this matchup. He did eat some smackdowns though, so that's probably going to play some sort of a factor in this secondary matchup here. Alignment not necessarily too important, and it looks like the opponent is actually going for a pretty aggressive farm down, and they're able to get it. So he's going to go ahead and bring the Sableye in here as a damage sponge to take this brine. And now he's in the Drapion mirror match, but he is ahead 1 turn, so like he should be able to outpace the opponent to crunches, since like when they throw their move he's going to be able to sneak in a move, and they weren't able to sneak in a move when he first threw his move. So it looks like he's in a pretty okay position to win this, since he should hypothetically be like 1 poison sting ahead of his opponent, and he did get the defense drop. But turns out the opponent is running Aqua Tail, so that's very unfortunate for him. If the opponent was only running Crunch, then he would have been able to get to the Crunch comfortably without taking any damage, but now he's gonna lose the match because of that. So GG's to the opponent there. Next match, Slurpuff in the lead, and definitely going to want to get out of there, since the Fairy Winds are going to be doing super effective damage to the Sableye, and the opponent brings in their Wormadam here. So I'd imagine that Got7Leo kind of wants to maintain switch here, since the ideal alignment would be to have the Skuntank against the Slurpuff. So let's see what he decides to do here. I agree with this shield because, like I said, he does want to maintain switch. So gonna be able to get this crunch off. Good timing by him too. Like, you want to throw on odd intervals against a 4-turn charge move or fast move if you have a 2-turn. So they can only sneak in 2 energy instead of a full 4. And at this point he actually decides to let the Drapion go, which is pretty interesting. And then he gets a little farm lead on the Skuntank. So let's see what the opponent has in the back. Actually, we don't even get to see because apparently they were double weak to the Skuntank there. So next match we have the Beedrill, and they swap into the Umbreon immediately. And I kind of don't like staying in there since the Umbreon has a pretty decent matchup against the Drapion, especially if it knows Last Resort like this one does, and giving it an energy lead kind of makes winning switchback here a little bit hard. And you don't really want your Skuntank aligned against the Beedrill, since the Beedrill does know Drill Run, which would do super effective damage to you. And also kind of misplaying this here by not throwing the move right away, having to shield to get this next Sludge Bomb off. And the opponent is going to shield that, and he is able to get to another Sludge Bomb, but it's not going to be quite enough to take out the Umbreon, which is pretty unfortunate. So he's lost swap, and the Umbreon is going to be able to chip down this Skuntank as well. So pretty rough situation to be in overall. Let's see what the opponent brings back in. They bring in the Beedrill, and he is kind of ahead on energy, so he's able to reach this Flamethrower pretty quickly, whereas the opponent only decides to throw an X-Scissor. And the opponent actually lets that go, so the opponent, knowing both these back 2 Pokemon and still electing to put it all on the Raticate in the back. So kind of a interesting choice by the opponent, especially since you know that this Sableye has a pretty big energy lead and is going to be able to get to the return pretty fast here. So this return is going to do a fat chunk of damage and able to get to a move though. So this is still pretty close in the end, but we're going to see who's able to farm who down first. Like, both of them are throwing resisted fast moves, but the Sableye able to take out the Alolan Raticate, so that's a GG. So next match here we have the Sableye lead into a Golurk, and I agree with this staying in here for a little bit, either getting a shield or chipping down this Tentacruel to make the matchup easier for the Drapion, since your Drapion like doesn't necessarily have the best matchup against the Tentacruel in even scenarios. Like, it's still winnable, but it's a little bit less comfortable, and maintaining switch here is going to be very important. So opponent going to bait at first, which kind of questionable, since God7 Leo did call it, and this is going to put the opponent in a pretty rough position, since it's possible now that he's going to get to a crunch before the Golurk is able to farm him all the way down. So the opponent actually decides to let that go and puts it on their Alolan Ninetales, knowing that the Ninetales is pretty strong against the Sableye, and that the Sableye would be aligned against the Golurk anyways, but he had a second poison type in the back, so that kind of spells GG for the opponent. So overall, very interesting matches there. Thanks again for sending the battles, God7 Leo, and if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and also submit your own videos in the link in the description if you want me to shoutcast them and make a video on them. So that's all for this one, and I'll see you in the next one.